Good afternoon, my beautiful, glorious sisters. This is Sunday, and it's time for another Sacred Circle for Soul Connection. And I'm trying this new platform to see if this would be a little bit easier as far as connecting with you and sharing time. So far, so good. It looks like it's working, and it looks like the sound is working. So I have a great topic for today. It's something that I was reading this morning that absolutely gripped me, and I said, I need to share this with you. How to transform your troubles. So before we get started, I'd like to create the sacred circle, the sacred space. I'm going to share with you my little solar plexus bowl that I use every morning before I start my spiritual practice. And this is my little solar plexus bowl. And she's wonderful. She sings. So here we go. For a little bowl, she makes the most beautiful music. And then I'm going to use some of my sacred sandalwood oil from India that I brought back from my trip. It's just a beautiful process of anointing myself. And last week, if you look at the video that I posted, I went through a whole ritual of doing my top chakra, my eye, my third eye, my throat, my hands. But today, I'm just going to do my hands so that I may do the work that I am meant to do. So what happened this morning was I was reading an incredibly powerful book, Living in the Presence by Kabir Helminski, and I came to this passage and I went, oh my God, this is the solution to everything. So I'm going to read it to you and then explain how I understood it. It was just so amazing, and it just simplifies life. The French philosopher and mystic Simon Weil said, we must not wish for the disappearance of our troubles, but the grace to transform them. Often when we wish our troubles would disappear, we are ignoring what could change in ourselves. We are confused between the need to change the outer circumstances, which may not be to our liking, and the need to change the way we relate to them. Identified with circumstances and conditions, we may fall into resentment and think we must change the facts when what we need to change is ourselves. Boy, if that doesn't say it all, I don't know what does. And what this truly means is that regardless of what happens to us in our lives, we, you and me, have the power to change that ourselves. Anything we need to change our troubles, to transform them, we have within us. But we automatically react and we project out and we look for the solution outside, and it's never, ever there. And then I read this little paragraph, which then even pushed me further into the understanding of this conversation. The secret of transformation is the moment-by-moment alchemy of impulse. So when we are troubled, when we're hurt, when something happens that upsets us, we immediately respond with an impulse. It's an automatic reaction to things. And that automatic reaction is to the outside conditions and what you feel is happening. What if you didn't do that? What if instead of automatically reacting, you stopped, you paused, you took a couple of deep breaths, and then you transformed that impulse which would be anger, resentment, fear, judgment, condemnation, and with pausing and just taking a minute to get centered and bring everything in, you could choose at that point to respond with love, kindness, compassion, understanding, peace. I'll tell you, when I read this, I was like, it just totally simplified how we can live and react in our lives. And then there's this little paragraph here that said, effort begins with a decision and is sustained by the awareness of a yes and no within us. And what that simply means is choice, the power of choice, yes or no. That's what that little solar plexus bowl is all about. It is about personal will, personal power, the ability to make a choice that empowers us instead of hurting us. Wow, life is not complicated. Everything we need to transform trouble, we already have. It exists within us. If we don't respond and just immediately reply with some kind of impulse that's built up in us over a period of time from limited beliefs, old perceptions, and just take a moment and step back and take a deep breath, you can change that entire response by making a different choice. To choose love, kindness, compassion, understanding, peace, joy. But responding from that energy is how you transform any situation. I don't care what it is, you can change it with that kind of energy coming out of you instead of the anger, the resentment, and the judgment. So, pretty simple lesson when you think about it. And the suppression of negativity does not help because it never opens us to transforming the power of finer energies. Our real self, our hidden treasure, is beyond our awareness and our personality. And our personality is that thing that automatically responds. It's that ego response. Your awareness and your power comes from within. So when something happens, yeah, you're going to feel it. You're going to say, man, this sucks. This is shit. And that's okay. And to feel that and internalize it and take it in, but don't respond from that place. Respond from a place of your power, not from feeling wounded and weak. And I'll tell you, I know a lot about how the ego can whip you around. I did a video the other day, but I'll share a little bit with you right now before the video comes out. I talk about that crazy ego voice in my own head, that voice of condemnation. Well, I've named it Louise, that there is another voice in my head called Louise. This is Louise, okay? Critical, condemning, ugly, nasty, tells me I'm not good enough. What do I think I'm doing? Who do I think I am? This is Louise. When I saw this little puppet, I said, that is Louise. She's a dragon. And she knows how to whip me around like nobody else. And we have spent a lot of time together. Louise and I have been together my entire lifetime. But now I know who she is. I know her voice. And I know how to work with her. I can't just squash her and kill her off. That won't happen. But I know how to work with Louise and shut down the dialogue. So that is what the Sacred Circle is about today. Learning how to shut down the dialogue, how to transform your troubles by just taking 30 seconds, 60 seconds to respond and come from a place of power by being in a completely different vibration than anger and fear and judgment. Ladies, you've got this. Figure out who your Louise is. Give her name. Recognize she's in your head. You can't get rid of her. You can't kill her off, but you can work with her. So, hope you like this little mini live. Sacred Circle on Sunday. I'm going to be back every Sunday. I don't care if 10 of you show up, 1 of you shows up, none of you show up. Louise and I are going to be here. She's got a lot of resistance. She didn't want to do this. She's out of the box. I've exposed her. She's not going back. Until next week, I love you all. And Louise does too. Bye. Now I don't know how to shut it off.